Hi, aloha. So I wanted to do a video on heart and trauma and food addiction. So what you want to understand is that food addiction is not about food. And if you have food addiction, if you're addicted to food, you probably know this, or maybe you don't, but here's the thing, here's the shtick. Food addiction starts in your heart. It starts in your heart. And what you want to know about your heart is that it is the most powerful organ in your body. It was the very first organ created when you were conceived. It is 100 times more electrically powerful than your brain. It's 5,000 times more magnetically powerful than your brain. And it holds it holds emotions. It also has a brain of itself, is a brain of its own. Your heart has the same electrical neurons that are in your brain are in your heart. So why is this important about food addiction? Because your heart comes from you come from a very high frequency, you come from love, which is the most highest frequency of energy that there is, and your heart knows this. And your heart needs to feel pleasure and love. It needs that. And it will actually call for it no matter what the consequences are. So let me give you an example. If you have food addiction, it's because something happened in your past that created trauma in your heart that stopped and closed off love. So love was closed off from your heart because of an emotional trauma that you experienced in your life. When that happened, your heart still needs to feel joy and pleasure and love. So what it does is it will call you to do things like eat too much, or too much sex, or too much drugs, in order to feel that pleasure for a short time, no matter what the consequences are. So your heart needs to feel love. You need to feel love, because that's where you come from. And if you're blocked, if you're emotionally blocked because of trauma in your past, then you're going to be pulled like a gravitational pull to do things that will bring you pleasure in the short term and pain in the long term. The heart doesn't realize that's what's happening. So what you want to do, the very first thing you want to do is first have compassion for yourself, absolute compassion, because something happened in your life that kept you from feeling loved and good enough. And that part of you was a very younger version of yourself who didn't have tools that you probably have right now. And they didn't understand what was going on at the time. So the very first thing to do is to have compassion for yourself, that there was a young part of you that experienced pain and trauma. The next thing to do is to accept what happened, no matter how bad. Fully accept it, and accept it in a way that you don't make it right, wrong, good, or bad. You're what's called equanimous to it, completely equanimous. And that takes practice. It takes practice. That's the type of work that we do at Women Being Fit. If this information is coming across, visit that site, womenbeingfit.com, and just know that your food addiction can stop. You can stop and have a new life living in a body that you love, and you deserve that. And here's the other thing, you're supposed to have that. You're supposed to have that, because your journey in this life is to move toward love, and to move toward peace, and to move toward forgiveness of yourself and others. That's one reason why you're here. That's one reason why you're here. When you experience peace, when you're experiencing peace in your heart and in your life, you are the evolution of humanity, and that will allow us all to experience that as well. So that's another reason why you're here. So remember that your food addiction is not about food. It's about an emotional trauma that happened in your heart way long time ago, and you can have peace around it. The very first thing to do is accept it without judgment. Don't make it right, don't make it wrong. Just accept that that is what happened in your life as an event that happened. And it takes practice not to make it right or wrong, or have it have a trigger on you. That will take practice, and you can do it. I'm Michelle Melendez, Women Being Fit. That's the work that I do with women. So much aloha to you, much love sent your way. And sister, brother, if you're watching this, you can have a different life, and it can be a lot easier than you think. It takes the courage and it takes the willingness to go on the journey. You can do it. Much aloha, love to you. If this information inspired you, subscribe below, like it, make a comment, or share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.